Hey, what's up, guys? Episode 7 coming at you. Serenity Now, Bourbon Later with the Van Bourbon Boys, Josh and John. Today, we're going to be discussing the Soup Nazi, one of the biggest episodes of Seinfeld ever. We knew we kind of had to get around to it eventually, so
Mhm.
we figured, what the heck? Let's go ahead and bring you a little synopsis of that episode, a little few things thrown in. Got a good bourbon today too, one of my favorite distilleries, Old Forester. We're going to be tasting a little Old Forester single barrel strength from our friends over at Burlington Wine and Spirits, one of their store picks. John's kind of, if you're on the video, John's showing you the details there. But if you're a warehouse hound and you have a certain warehouse, Jack Daniels loves to do the Coy Hill, and there's certain warehouses that are their big boys. So if you're a warehouse K fan, this might be a bottle that you want to try to find. Burlington might still have some of them hanging around. I know they had a few different store picks of the Old Forester single barrels. So
Yep.
this is the Warehouse K, looks like floor 6.
Yep, floor
So
6.
yeah, I think that's kind of usually most of the Rick houses are maybe 10, 11 floors. So we're probably halfway up. So probably getting a good balance. So, not too cold, not too hot. And when they have these, they don't rotate them. Some of the distillers like to rotate the barrels around, but this would have remained in that spot on that level, and comes in almost 130 proof. So this is going to be a real spicy guy.
We were looking for it for a while too, because just trying to find an Old Forester single barrel strength was hard enough. Then we were lucky enough to find a store pick too. So this is going to be
Right.
exciting.
Yeah, one of the bars downtown Louisville there on Whiskey Road, they have a flight. You could actually get 3 different ones, and you would think, "Oh, they're gonna be, they're actually really different, depending on which one you grab." So I've got a couple myself, but, this is the first time I sampled this one at the store, but this is the first time we've actually, opened it up, so,
And yeah, this will be my first time because we just cracked this one. So
yeah.
pretty excited about it. I know you're a big
It's
fan
got
of
a
Old Forester.
love Old Forester. It's got a great nose on it. Absolutely great nose.
I agree.
I won't I won't give you the classic thing you should be smelling, because I'll put it in your head, but maybe you'll smell it. Off the Old Far A lot of the Brown Foreman products, but definitely Old Forester, you get there's a nice little thing on the nose that I always grab every time. It's a certain bread, and I'll leave it at
And
that and see if you find it.
I love how dark it is too. I mean, it's really
Oh, yeah,
rich.
great color. I don't know, did you have an age statement on the bottle there? I don't think you
Look,
did.
let me dive into
I
that.
don't
I'm
I
looking
don't
at
thi I
looking at
don't
the
thi I don't
back.
think you did.
No,
Yeah.
there's nothing. It's just the back has the
No age
history.
statement. I'm
Yeah.
gonna guess this is about a 7 or 8 year bourbon. I don't think this is pushing the 10, but I'm gonna say it's a fully, we consider fully mature bourbons to be about 7 to 8 years old. Most of the time, 6 to 7 to 8. A lot of bourbons are pulled early, or you've got like Texas bourbons. You only need about 4 years because they're hotter, the weather. And so I'm going to call this probably a 7 to 8 year. I don't think this is bordering on the 10, but I'm going to say it's a fully mature bourbon, as they would say.
I would definitely agree with the darkness and everything. I mean, I like that 10-year mark, but whatever this is, regardless of age, I'm really a fan so far.
Wow. Really, really great on the front of the palate. Really, really great. Already enjoying that a lot. John's having a drink now too, so
Hmm.
yeah, really, really tasty. Not so spicy that 130 is killing me. Sometimes you get to that 130, 135, and it starts to get really, really hot. And I didn't feel that way at all
Yeah.
on that first drink.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely
All
get
right.
through more of that as we move on. But
Mm.
yeah, Soup Nazi. One of the most famous episodes. I think if you pull anybody on the street and say you got to name one episode of Seinfeld, this is one they would pull up.
Yep.
Um, and so written by Spike Ferriston, and he actually thought he was going to be fired. He wrote it himself based off a real life experience of a chef that he knew in New York City that was exactly like this. And he didn't think Larry liked the episode. He thought he was going to be fired, but Larry later said that he was just tired, like he was kind of overwhelmed. He liked the episode, but as they were editing it, just Spike thought, this is it. He's gonna say can this, and he's gonna fire me, and I'm done. It ended up being one of the biggest episodes. Of course, we kind of come in the beginning. Jerry, we're season 7, so Jerry has his little comedic interlude, and then we kind of start seeing the line for the Soup Nazi. Of course, it's stretching down the street, and we use Kenny
Hmm.
Banya, one of our favorite side
Oh
characters,
God.
and and of course, Kenny was in the episode of The Soup, where this is the Soup Nazi, where they go to Mindy's and all he wants is soup. So it's kind of, I think it's pretty comedic that they pulled him in for another episode of Soup.
And that was his only point in the episode, correct? Is it that line?
Does he come back? I think they see him in line later, don't they? Or no? Is that it? Is that it
I,
in the beginning?
I want to say
That
that
might have
was
been.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found
Okay.
it funny that in that line right there that they're like, hold, Jerry goes, hold still, like he's a T-Rex. Okay, here you are, like, and he has the intelligent level of a T-Rex, right? But they're like, hold still, like as if his vision is based on movement.
Got to go into soup mode. And then a couple signs in the Soup Nazis restaurant thought were pretty funny. There when they come in, it says "Know your soup," so I think
Hmm.
it pretty much is saying you better know what you want. Don't come in here and ask me questions. Know your soup. Know which one you're picking. Tell me what you want. Get the heck out.
Yeah.
And then of course you've got the menu of items, and I think you mentioned later in the episode that there's a soup mention that's not even on the menu.
Yeah, of course, I'm looking into the background for this episode, more so than anything, because it's just a very, very memorable episode as far as the lines and everything like that. But just looking in the background and looking at the menu and taking a picture of that. But yeah, they go through the different menus throughout the episode, but there was several that were mentioned but not on the actual menu, and I just kind of chalk it up to maybe the fact that he's not rotating it through or something like that. But they
Right.
definitely know what soup they like.
Right. And then on the bottom of the board there, it says no phone orders. And a couple times during the episode, one of the chefs in the back is sitting there on the phone writing down something on a piece of paper. Now, he could be doing a produce order or something, but, you kind of think,
Yeah.
yeah, there's something to do with him just writing down orders. So that
Yeah,
was kind of interesting
yeah.
too. And of course, we meet Schmoopy,
Oh.
Schmoopy. I know, right? Right? She's a mess, but you wonder why Jerry puts up with certain things that he does, and then he'll end up breaking up over the smallest thing. So he was
Mhm.
going to break up with her over the soup, and then of course later in the episode they couldn't make the mental connection, and so that those little bits of the schmoopy things are
Yeah, he doesn't have that ability to, like, with the previous episode we discussed about the emotional connection with certain things, and now here he is lovey-dovey with some, girl in the coffee shop and stuff, with the whole show's funny.
for sure. Yeah, and even they get back, and George of course didn't get soup, and he's like, "You're going to give me a taste," or "You're going to share it with me." He's like, "I gave you a taste." Yeah, so
That's what comes from living under a Nazi regime.
exactly, exactly. Lots of good relationship, little things in this episode that they explore, like sitting on the same side of the booth. I thought that was fun. I used to be, you don't do that. You don't sit on the same side of the booth. And of course, George is completely taken aback by that they're on the same side of the booth when he walks in. But now, I'm older now. I've kind of changed my mind. I don't mind. I don't mind the same side of the booth thing.
Definitely
And
points out that social, normalities, right?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, then Susan shows up, and we kind of have the back and forth contest with the Schmoopies and Larry, one of our favorite little Monk's coffee shop owners. He instantly sees that they're going to cause trouble, and he does not do commotion. So he rushes up in the background before they cut away.
The little things
Oh,
like that, though, are hilarious because he comes in at another point too, which is he doesn't play a big part in the show, but it's just his little interactions there because he's kind of like, what, taken back, what are we doing with these two couples making out in my booth?
exactly, exactly. And this is one of those episodes that it's big and it's memorable, but when you really break it down, not a lot happens.
Hmm.
We talked about the armoire. I think you wanted to mention how Jerry and George are kind of just making fun, like they don't even know what an armoire is.
Yeah, I mean, even I mean, I can't spell, I don't have a memory, I get it, but I had to look up how do you spell armoire because I think that little that clip right there where Elaine is trying to explain the importance of an armoire, what it is, etc., and Jerry and George are like taken back, like, what is she talking about? What is this? Who cares? Was a great synopsis of the female to male, social dynamic there because they're like, who cares what an armoire is?
Then you mentioned too that Kramer trying to get the armoire in Elaine's apartment, just all of a sudden it appears there, so we don't know if
Yeah.
he sweet talked the super to get it into the apartment or how he got it there. He wanted to surprise her, because he does that
Hmm.
a lot. He does that a lot through the series. He wants to be like the hero. I think we
True.
we discussed during the statue episode. He kind of goes off. He's rogue, man. Nobody says go do it. He's I'm gonna go get the statue. And so this one the same way. He's trying to be the knight in shining armor, and he gets into her apartment. But it's like, how did you get an armoire into her apartment without her even knowing about it? So
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that throughout other episodes as well. Like he just does his own thing. Like he lives by a different code. So
yeah, yeah, for sure. So and of course in this episode, George is they're trying to get rid of Schmoopy, and they don't like her, and so nobody else wants to kind of m- be in Jerry's face about it. But George, he's like, we're gonna talk about this. That we don't like her. We don't like this. We can't stand it. And of course, Elaine scuttles off, and so George says, "All right, fine. I'm gonna show you how annoying it is." And of course, in the scene in the cafe with Susan, he's trying to out schmoopy, and it backfires as always because everything. So George breaks up with Sheila, and now George is stuck with Susan, who's I'm your little Kiki, and
Hmm.
yeah, always. Every time George has a little caper, it always seems to just backfire right in his face.
It's almost as if he
So,
should do the opposite of everything he seeks out to do.
but even the opposite ended up backfiring in his face. So it always does, and he always just takes it too far. It's like with Kruger, It's like you say it and drop the mic and walk out, and he
Yeah.
always just goes one
He
step
needs to
too
leave on a
far.
high note.
Yep. Yep. There you go. Leave on a high note. I love it. I love it. Nice Easter eggs from John in our Soup Nazi episode here. So and by the way, I hope you guys are enjoying it. We are on episode 7. We got 6 more if you want to go check those out. Lots of good stuff. We're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon podcasts. If you just want to hop in the car, if you subscribe to us, every time those pop up, we'll send you a little notification. So maybe you're heading to I try to post these on Sundays. Maybe you're heading to the office on Monday morning. I just want a light little good time talking about Seinfeld and bourbon, then this might be for you. Of course, we're on YouTube. Also post Instagram reels throughout the week. We actually will go and preview this. We've actually got an episode coming in the middle of this week with no Seinfeld. John has a bourbon tasting kit that we're going to go through and talk about. And so we'll be dropping that midweek. So if you're watching episode 7, watch out for that midweek. It'll be on the YouTube channel and some clips on Instagram for you. But yeah, I got a big question here for you, John. I think
Oh, fire away.
this will be fun to do.
Okay.
So we know Schmoopy is one of our most annoying girlfriends from Jerry, right?
Agreed.
Okay, all right. So I have five different Jerry girlfriends from throughout the series. So I would like you to blind rank these. So
Okay.
yeah, you're not going to know which 5 I have chosen. You're going to rank them as the most annoying from 1 to 5. So
Okay.
and
Five being the
you
worst
can't
and most annoying, right?
5 no, 1 being the worst. Number 1 annoying girlfriend, number 1 is the most annoying.
Okay.
So 1 will be the most annoying.
Okay.
You won't know what 5 they are, so you've got to slot them in as you go.
Okay.
All right. So I mean, obviously we're on the Soup Nazi episode. So Sheila Schmoopy is the number 1. We're gonna slot her at.
Okay. Fire away.
No. It's blind rank.
Sheila.
You got to do them one at a time.
Oh, one at a time. You're not going to let me list.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
blind rank. Blind
Okay.
rank.
So Sheila is by far, I think, the most annoying. She's definitely going to slot in 1. She has no value.
Wow.
She's
Of the
too
whole series.
of the whole series. She doesn't have any value to her.
Wow.
She's extremely
No.
childish, and I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it. No, 1.
I got 4 others to throw at you, but you're
Nope.
gonna go with Schmoopy's number 1.
It's only going
Wow,
up from
I'm
here.
glad. I'm glad I pulled this out for this episode then, because this is perfect. All right. I mean, maybe I give you another one. You're like second guess yourself, but we'll see.
Am I allowed to
Because
then slide 1 in?
no, it's blind
All right.
rank. So she's
I'll
stuck.
I'll live with
She's
it.
the worst.
All
She's
right.
the worst. Jody the masseuse.
Um, e- I'm gonna 3.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. Right there in the middle. Yeah.
Yep. She has value. I think that her disdain for George is understandable, and George is being, or Jerry's being a little bit selfish in what he seeks in that relationship. So I don't see anything too faulty with that. So I'll put her at 3.
Okay. Jody the masseuse, number 3. So you got 2, 4, 5 left. So we've got Jane Sparrow Square.
Oh, Spare
Yeah.
Square.
Yeah. Sparrow
Well,
Square, Jane.
that's they're perfect. They're real and they're spectacular, right?
No. This is Sparrow Square. That's no. Terry Hatcher, I didn't put on this. I didn't put her on this
Okay.
list
Okay.
because
Yeah. All right.
I thought she was pretty normal. I thought that was really all Jerry. I didn't
Yeah.
think she was annoying at all. That's like it was all his fault for sure.
Okay.
But
Well,
no, Sparrow Square. Yeah.
Spare Square, uh, might be a little quirky, might be unique for her. That's fine, whatever. But
Yeah.
I didn't find her super annoying. Just a quirk, and Jerry himself has plenty of quirks, so I'm gonna throw her at 4.
Okay, 4. All right. So you're leaving 1 that's the least annoying, and we have a number 2 that's left.
Now I have
So
2 and 5.
2 and 5. 2 and
2 and
5.
5.
The least annoying of the 5, and then number
Two.
2 you have
Yeah.
left. All right. This next one, because this would have been my number 1. Nina the artist,
Okay.
the
Um.
painter. Yeah.
You,
Kramer,
you know,
the painting of Kramer.
Yeah, well, first off, she did provide one of the greatest paintings of our time. Okay. So, it's
Not
like
the triangles.
no, like, I mean, no, like, so it's like faulting Picasso for his course or something like that, right? Like, she
Yeah.
painted Kramer. No, I didn't really find her annoying that much at all. I found her, yeah, a little bit
Okay.
controlling, a little bit jealous. So I'm gonna put
Okay.
her at 5, actually.
Okay. Okay. Because I don't think you're gonna like what you're gonna have to put for number 2, but that's okay. Maybe
Okay,
you will. Maybe you'll think that's so we have Cindy
Cindy the maid, Cindy
the
the
maid
maid.
from, yeah, the maid who was also a streetwalker. Cindy, the maid.
Oh, that
Remember?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He hired her. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'm
She's
definitely
your last
gonna
choice.
okay,
I mean, you
so
only have
no,
one
I'm
spot to put her in, but yeah.
yeah, she's definitely obviously a 2, but I would if I had to if I could switch, I mean, I would feel comfortable with 2 or 1. I mean,
Okay.
she is a
She rivals Schmoopy.
yeah, she's a night walker, and that's definitely something to have an issue with. She has 2
Yeah.
face. She doesn't do her maid duties, and she's not the
No.
best girlfriend, but, as
No.
far as quirks, I don't see anything weird. She's a little lazy or whatever you wanna call it, but so, yeah, I'm
Okay.
happy with my list.
Okay, Sheila Schmoopy, number 1 from, here from the Soup Nazi. You heard it from John. The worst, most annoying girlfriend of the whole Seinfeld series, Sheila Schmoopy is our winner of that list. So, yeah, but I love the episode. It's a lot simpler. I think we've ran into this a few times now where our most favorite episodes are some of the simple ones
Mhm.
that we don't have a lot to talk about. This Soup Nazi episode, there's not a lot of fluff or addition, or it's what it is, but that's what makes it so special. Is they took a simple idea and just compounded it and said, "There you go. We don't need a whole lot of twists and turns or anything." The armoire is kind of just a backseat story, and of course, we made our two street toughs again towards the end of the series.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Those
there's
those
not a
those
whole
2
lot.
guys, I never found that and I never really understood that, like, just handle them. I don't understand, I guess it shows that Kramer's more of a lover than he is a fighter.
And Jerry, Jerry also had the opportunity to kind of do
That's
something
right.
about it, and yeah, I don't think it would have taken a whole lot of pushback for them to
Yeah,
run off, but
yeah.
Kramer just didn't know what to do with it. So he's
Yeah,
not a
and
physical
then
guy,
it shows too Elaine's, because Jerry tries to stop her when they find those soups, the recipes for the soups. Jerry tries to
right?
stop her, tries to provide her some time and moral compass, but
Yep.
her seek for revenge was far greater. She was
Oh yeah.
determined.
Oh
So
yeah.
she presents those, and it was like, you know, odd soups that weren't really on the menu. Mulligatawny was on the menu and stuff like that, but
Lima
you know,
bean.
Yeah, Lima Bean, she at one point when her first interaction, going back a
Yeah.
little bit, her first interaction, thanks for reminding me, was she
Yeah.
asks, she's tapping on there and she's like, "Is this Lima Bean?" He goes, "Yes." I'm like, looking at the menu and to be posted later on, you guys can review the menu here, but
Yeah.
there's no Lima Bean. So I'm like, is it split pea soup? What could be the soup that has the Lima
Right.
Bean in it?
Yeah, and he gives her a lot more grace too than the others. George asked for bread twice, but everybody else got bread, and he's out.
Yep,
She's
yep,
banging on the counter, and he yes, he gives her a lot more. Maybe he's a little softer towards females, or she's a pretty female, or what have you, but she definitely gets a lot more rope until she goes hoo-ah, hoo-ah.
yeah.
Then he's like, all right, we're now done, because
Yeah, and she makes that reference too. I mean, it was a little bit like, she was a little outward for her own character on the show to do that to him, but
right.
still nonetheless, he doesn't take to it, and they try to explain his demeanor and why he is the way he is. Kramer, of
Yep.
course, befriends the most, you know, erratic individual in the restaurant of New York or the restaurants of New York. He,
Right.
sitting there just really easily having a conversation and explaining, you want to suffer from your soup and this and that, but everybody else has to teeter and they're walking in there like they're in a
Right.
military parade. And of
Right.
course he's just like, "Yep, you better get out of here. You didn't order correctly." But I didn't see on there that if the bread was $2. I didn't, looking at the entire restaurant, there was no sign
No
saying
signs.
bread is $2. There's nothing
He
like
just
that.
made he just pulled it out of the air. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna pay. You're gonna pay for bread. They got bread, but I don't like you, so you're gonna pay for bread.
Which indicates,
Yeah.
A Nazi regime. I'm gonna make rules up as I go.
Pretty much. Pretty much, exactly. So,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm really still enjoying this old Forester.
Yeah.
This is a great pick by our friends over at Burlington. Fantastic. And they don't do things from afar. The Burlington guys don't phone it in. I think for the most part they've taken trips to make these picks.
Right.
During that COVID time, there may be times where they got mailed kits or whatever to pick out, but I know they've taken some trips. So I always any pick they have, I know is deliberated over heavily to put their name on it. So this is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I think we would go and talk with them regularly. Every time we went to the store, we were talking to somebody that was working there or something, and they would,
Right.
they took it very serious and very enjoyable too. That their
Right.
trips, they would go down there and everything like that. It wasn't like just anybody opening up a shop.
Yeah.
They really took pride in everything they did with their
Definitely.
yeah, store.
Definitely, and like I said, I've had quite a few, picks of these, and this one's really phenomenal. I'd
Hmm.
like to have a side by side of a couple others, but as far as I remember the other ones I've had, this one's great, and I don't find it too hot at 130 at all. A lot of things I've had at 130 just blow you away,
Hmm.
and, I mean, this is technically I mean, you poured this, but, I mean, it's not been sitting in this bottle too long, so, this is
No.
neck pour-ish territory.
Right. Yeah, I honestly, you wouldn't know that it was 130 proof had again, just poured it. You feel a little heat, but I think that things we've had on this show before didn't they had a lower proof, but they had a higher ethanol to
Right,
them. So
right.
this definitely is really, really like outside of it, what you would portray it as. So I really like it. I think I'm pretty enamored by it.
Nice. Yeah, I've had a couple of the birthday, bourbons from Old Forester, and I would put them at a slight echelon above this, but not that far. Those are probably gonna be high 8s for me on those picks. This is a little below that, just because the age, if it had a little bit more age on it, is slightly young, but not so young that, but I think that 10, 12 year, most of the birthday bourbons are more that 11, 12, 13 year mark,
Mhm.
and I think that really lets it shine. I'm getting the banana bread as the bread I was talking about earlier. I
Yep.
don't know if you get it or not.
Nope.
You do get
I
it.
was like, "Let's get the bread." I
Yeah.
get the bread. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But that baking banana bread you get out of a lot of Old Forester products, I find that a little heavier in the birthday bourbons, but this is
Yeah.
still fantastic.
I'm
So you
loving
get,
that nose,
go
like you
ahead.
were saying too, like the nose is very smooth,
Yeah.
and it has that bready, and you can almost get the viscosity just off the nose, but there's no ethanol to the nose. And
Right.
then when you go to drink it as well, it doesn't have the ethanol. It's pretty smooth, and
Right.
you can just feel a lot of age to it, whether it's aged or not. I don't know what the age statement is. I think you have a good assessment there.
I'm
Uh,
thinking 7 to 8 year on these is what I feel like.
mhm.
Most, like I say, like Maker's Mark, they don't age statement most of their stuff, and they say, because we pull it when it needs to be, we don't want to put a date on it, and so 7 to 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years is most of your mature bourbon, and I feel like this is probably right along with that. This is definitely not a 10 year. I don't get enough oak off of it to feel like it's and honestly, I mean the oak might not lend well to it. Those birthday bourbons really aren't that oaky either, honestly. I think they do a good job with the mash bill kind of standing on its own without having to have too much of the barrel in there.
Yeah, I mean, it has the oak in it, but it's not overpowering, and it's not too sharp. I really enjoy it. And the other thing too is that I didn't really have too much of a history with the Old Forester. What I
Right,
have had was because I know you're a big fan of it. We'd bought a
right.
few bottles, 1940, I don't even remember, but it was their regular Old Forester, and I was pretty excited about it, but let down by those standard bottles. So going into this, I was trying to keep that neutrality to it.
Okay,
I'm actually extremely impressed because I was expecting a little bit of harshness to it as with
okay.
those other bottles, but
Right.
uh, you just never know.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely a lot of good, like, bright fruit. I get more of that, like, cherry banana off of it that I really enjoy, and, it's a really
Okay.
good profile. Yeah, and, like I say, if you're, sitting there saying, "Man, I really don't like those super strong, heavy proof bourbons," maybe find one of these 4 picks because this is not blowing me away, but definitely a few of these I would be, I would be feeling it. It's definitely a lot of alcohol, but I don't taste it. Where some of the other bourbons have trouble getting rid of that ethanol. So,
Yeah.
like I said, this is pretty young in the bottle. This hasn't been opened a long time. John just poured this a week or two ago. So,
Yeah.
yeah. What you got for a rating on it, my friend?
Well, I'll let you start off rating the show, and then we'll go into the bourbon.
Okay, let's do that. Soup Nazi. I like I said, I picked it because I knew eventually we had to come to it, and I don't want to be a Seinfeld tater and just pick out the episodes that you guys know. I want to do other episodes, and if we didn't mention it earlier, this is season 7, episode 6. If you want to hit Netflix to watch it, before you have watched us or after or whatever you might think. I think sometimes it might be fun to listen to us and go back and watch the episode and see you might see some other things that we didn't. And please throw those in the comments because I love the Easter eggs and things that we find.
Yeah, speaking of
Those are
which,
fantastic.
yeah, Josh, speaking of the Easter eggs, count
Oh,
if you
okay.
will. Yep, let's get somebody to comment down there. How many different times um, pretzels show up in the scene
In this episode.
in this episode?
All right, I John gave me a little bit earlier of an insight that I didn't see, so I'm not going to answer what I think the total is. I'll say that I only saw one time when I watched it, um, but we'll see how many times you guys find. Maybe comment before you watch how many you think, and then watch it and see how many you find. But yeah, it's a great question, great question. But I mean, Soup Nazi, it's one of my more favorite episodes, but definitely not top tier, especially after rewatching it. I don't find a lot of nuggets that I super enjoy outside of the premise, which I think the premise is great. So I'm gonna go. We'll do 7-7, seven
Okay,
seven on the Soup Nazi. Yeah. What about yourself?
I was just gonna go 8-3.
8-3. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
it's a really, really easy episode to watch. You could have it in the
Yeah,
background, and especially as
yeah.
the show starts, you know, you really start collecting all those things. The entertainment is there, but as the episode goes on to the second half, it falls off. You know, it's just again, it's just an easy episode to be able to watch, air, have in the background. It's still entertaining. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 8-3.
Okay, fantastic. So that's going to bring us an 8-0 total. Thank you for the easy math again this week, John. So we're definitely the roasters from episode 6. If you haven't watched it yet, please go check it out. It's actually our most watched episode out of 6, which is awesome. But if you guys are watching this one, go watch some of the other ones. Give us a like, a comment, and check them out. Maybe there's a bourbon on there. If you just want to see the bourbon part, I definitely post those reels on Instagram every week of just the bourbon part. If you're like, I don't care about that Seinfeld episode doesn't interest me, head over to Instagram, Serenity Now, Bourbon Later on all platforms. Head over to Instagram, pull through the reels, and I have usually have a reel on there that just talks about the bourbon if you want to see what we, ranked for that bourbon. But yeah, Roasters was 895, so we're a flat 8-0 here on Soup Nazi. Definitely probably top 2 or 3 that we reviewed so far.
Hmm.
Like I said, we definitely have some coming that I think are going to be above 895, but I mean 8-0, very respectable for how many episodes there are. So yeah, don't think just because that everybody knows this episode, it's not good. It's still good. Maybe
Yeah,
not the best, but it's still a great episode.
yeah.
What about the bourbon for you, sir? The Old Forester single barrel proof.
All right. So again, it was a hard open on the bottle, right? So the Old Forester single barrel, not just, you know, regular, but a single barrel strength, plus it's a store pick, hard open, exciting moment. It definitely is a lot smoother than the Old Foresters I have had prior. I love that you know, on the nose. Um, I'm gonna go with 8-1. I'm gonna go with 8-1.
Okay, great. I'm right there next to you. So I mentioned earlier those birthday bourbons. In my head, maybe one more than the other, but they're definitely going to be close to that 9 territory for me. They're not high nines, but they're nines. And so the ones that I've had, the couple that I've had. So we're going to go 8-2. So 8-1, 8-2, 8-1-5. So me and John are pretty close in agreement. This is a fantastic pour. Even if you can't, I think they're all store picks. I don't think I've ever seen one that's not. I believe they just released these as store picks. I may be wrong. If I am, please tell me, let me know. But find a reputable store that you enjoy that's got a pick, and if you trust that those owners and their palates and that sort of thing, then or call up our friends in Burlington, Massachusetts, see if they have any more laying around. I'm sure if they don't have this one, they probably some other barrels they picked, and it's a fantastic pour. I love Old
Which,
Forester in general, and
yeah, you are a big fan of Old Forester, and that's why I was turned on to it. But
yeah,
to that, I mean, the Burlington Wine and Spirits was one of our primary go-tos, and
yeah,
I mean, I don't know how many other store picks we had from them, but it's just when you find a bourbon store that you can relate to and has the same, you know, palate, the same, you know, appreciation, etc., whatever, you know,
right.
those store picks. I can't find a store pick from them that we've had that we didn't appreciate more than say just their standard bourbon.
Definitely. And I've got a couple more we'll pull out eventually. I've got a new riff, got a Penelope Architect, got some good store picks from them that we'll eventually come back around to. But we're trying to mix up the distilleries a little bit. I thought Old Forester was a good throw in here. If you've got some distilleries you're wondering about, say I really love Woodford, but I haven't had any of their bigger stuff. we got plenty of it.
Mhm.
So we're definitely going to be mixing through some. We're not going to be just the Buffalo Trace boys. We're the Van Buren boys. We do what we want.
Yeah.
So we're going to be marching around some different distilleries and maybe some distillery profiles. We might say one day have a video. Just we're going to talk about Woodford, talk about their history and what they
Yeah.
do. Myself and John have been to a lot of distilleries, so maybe we'll do a remote episode from one of the distilleries talking about their bourbon. Would be a dream and fantastic if they would give us the space to do that. Woodford Reserve,
Well,
love you guys, and yeah,
yeah,
we
absolutely. I think there's so many great ideas that we could do with that. Again,
yeah,
please comment in there if you want to see a bottle of a special bottle, or you want to see something that perhaps we've discussed or something like that, or you see something
right.
that you want us to seek out. We can do that. Trips like that to distilleries, you're gonna have to help us out there and give us likes, give us comments. That way we can get there. We can do those kind of things because
For
that's
sure.
outside the norm for us. We do work, so
Yeah, yeah. Some of us more than others, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'd love to do some of that extra stuff. So we love Seinfeld. We want to talk about it, but and we may come up with some Seinfeld things where we just want to do something completely Seinfeld by itself. But the bourbon's a huge passion for us, so we definitely want to bring you a lot of bourbon content, things that you want to see and want to hear. I love a lot of the bourbon guys that put out a lot of things, and I love what they do, and we want to have our own little angle on we're just two normal guys that enjoy bourbon, so we just
Yep.
want to talk about it. So if you don't have anything else today, sir, I think that might wrap episode 7 for us.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thanks guys, appreciate it. Keep watching, give us some follows, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, thanks.
Bye.